Get your lungs sergeant!
Your hands are in the air.
What's your name, fella?
I've got nothing on me.
Put your
And today's a very, very sad episode. And I feel even like sad even filming this like right now. You know what I'm saying? What this episode comes with today. Like usually I don't do episodes this deep. An innocent little girl that was killed. A 9-year-old girl that was shot and killed while she was in her house. And I'll give you the whole case and everything that happened. All right. So a man called Thomas Cashman has been found guilty of killing Olivia Pratt Corbell. Cashman is 34 years old. And this killing happened in Liverpool. You know, Liverpool gang violence is very, 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 very bad. And he just recently got 42 years today. Today's the day he actually got 42 years. In 2022, Olivia was standing behind her mother when Cashman opened fire while chasing Joseph Nee, who had sought refuge inside after seeing that the door was open. She was fatally struck by a single bullet that had gone through the door and the hand of the mother, Cheryl Corbell. Cashman sobbed in the dock as he was also found guilty of attempting to murder Nee, wounding Corbell with intent by shooting her through the hand and 2 counts of possessing a firearm last week. The jury deliberated for around 9 hours. It's crazy, this crime, and the reason why it's crazy is because, you know, we always say no children. Like, it's just part of the streets, isn't it? Like, we never want to affect children by the actions that we do, innit? It's not gangster to be shooting children or trying to kill children, if I'm being honest. And it breaks my heart to say this, but these are some of the things that actually come with being on the roads, living the street life. The street life doesn't come with any glory, only pain. Every soldier's story is in vain. I feel it for the guy though, because I can tell that he actually feels sorry for what he done, but he's still done it. That's the point of what I'm trying to make today. He's still done it because he was put on a hit to kill Joseph. When 9-year-old Olivia Pratt Corbell was shot by a masked gunman who burst into her home on the 20th of August last year, people in Liverpool feared history was repeating itself. 15 years to the day previously, an innocent child had been caught in the crossfire. 11-year-old Reece Jones, walking home from a football practice, was gunned down. Do you remember when it happened? I remember that. That was one of the saddest moments. The community once again felt brutalized as details of the crime emerged. The gunman and Joseph Nee, the man he was chasing, were strangers to Olivia and her mother. Cheryl Corbell, who had opened the front door that night after hearing noises on the street, Corbell was shot through the hand with the same bullet that killed her daughter. For the funeral, 4 family members carried Olivia to the local church in Dovecot in a small pink coffin. Unlike in Reece Jones's case, where for almost a year police knew who was responsible but could not summon the evidence despite months of antagonizing family appeals, someone did come forward. The CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service, managed to produce a star witness, a woman whose house Thomas Cashman fled to after the killing. The witness, who has lifetime anonymity, is understood to have faced more threats than any other witness Merseyside police have dealt with. How this case came about is that he ran to a girl's house after. He went to a woman's house after, and she probably helped him dispose of the things, but she became a CPS witness at the end. So with the Reece killing, they didn't know what happened. It was hard to spot what happened because the person was all black, masked up. It's hard. If evidence is gone, we've arrested him, but we can't find the gun, blah, 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 blah. In this case, someone actually came forward. And you know what? Congratulations to the person that came forward. Do you know why? Thomas, and I hope you're watching this, you deserve the sentence that you get, and you deserve more. And the reason why I say that is because when you saw him running into a house, your mind should have said, damn, let me keep it stepping just in case I kill an innocent person with this weapon. Instead, you was hell-bent on trying to murder him to the point where you didn't even think that if I shot through this door and there's innocent children in the house, they can be hit. So I don't feel any pity towards Thomas, if I'm being honest. You deserve it, because that was a stupid move. She was a former lover of Cashman from the same era and someone he trusted. She told the court how he turned up after the shooting Olivia, asking for a change of clothes and saying something to the effect of, "I've done Joey." Gangs in Merseyside are using battlefield submachine guns capable of firing 850 rounds a minute to target each other. And it will not be long before such weapons are as common in areas, officers have warned. DC Mark Kamen, the lead investigator on Olivia Pratt Corbell case, said Czechoslovakian manufactured Scorpion machine pistols were increasingly being used by criminals. Kamen said, if you start bringing that sort of battlefield military weaponry into communities and discharging it, you add that to the chaotic nature, lack of training, no moral compass, that's where you get the last 3 times a Scorpion has been used in Merseyside, someone's been killed every single time. Is it any wonder when this gun's firing 12 or 13 rounds in less than a second? Merseyside police have seized 7 guns since the beginning of the year, including a Scorpion. 9-year-old Olivia was not killed by a Scorpion. She was shot with a revolver that was never recovered. But 3 other people gunned down in Liverpool last year were. Like Olivia, at least 2 of these were not intended targets of the gunman. When I was younger, I remember OG said to us, bullets don't have a name, you know. And I'm sad and deeply sad about this video, about hearing about this, what's going on, because, you know, people that are caught up in certain things, yeah, I understand, innit? Like, it is what it is. Like, man's living their life. We're all going to get in it. You know what I'm saying? If we're living a certain type of lifestyle, it comes with certain things. I understand. I'm not naive to it. But you see, when an innocent child or innocent person's killed, like, I don't know how you can even go sleep at night knowing that someone was just minding their own business, a child, and you've killed them. You took that life for nothing. So the statement, a personal statement from Olivia's father, John Francis Pratt, is being read before the court. No words can truly make you understand the pain I'm feeling at the loss of my beautiful daughter, Olivia, the statement said. You have changed my life and my family's life forever, said the statement, addressing Cashman, who's not present in court. We will never be a whole family again. In that statement, Francis Pratt recalled seeing his daughter Olivia for the first time in August of 2022, just before her death. I'm heartbroken. Sometimes I just want it to end so I can be with Olivia again. The statement said, I don't know how I'll cope. You know, usually on my channel, we talk about women stopping men from seeing their children. What about you, Thomas? You stopped that man from ever seeing his daughter. You took his daughter away. You broke him. I hope you can't sleep at night. And I hope you live with this on your chest forever, because they're going to have to. That father every night is going to see that a piece of his gone. And everyone knows a father and a daughter's relationship is closer than these 2 fingers. A father and a daughter's relationship is a bond for life. And any man that's been there at the birth of their child and raised their child knows how much that child even loves them. That's your best friend as a man. Like, you love that little girl more than anything in this world, and she's gone now. That statement mashed me up, I'm not going to lie, still. Olivia's sister tells the court, living in a real life tragedy. Olivia's older sister, Chloe, read her personal statement before the court. It was the best present I had ever received, she recalled, of her sister's birth, 5 days after her own birthday. I just loved her so much. My family and I are living in a real-life tragedy, said Chloe, and there's nothing we can do to change that. Tearfully, she added, I miss Olivia, I miss my baby sister, I miss my best friend. I grieve for what we will never get to do together. Now, Cheryl Corbell, the mother who was shot through the hand and that same bullet went through to kill her daughter, she read her statement. This is the mother of the daughter that was killed. Cheryl Corbell, Olivia's mum, is reading her personal statement before the court. One thing I miss most is hearing her say, Mom, I just miss hearing that voice. It's just so quiet, she said tearfully. It's so very lonely without her. Everything is just so quiet. I can't cope with silence. This happened in our home where we felt safe and should have felt safe, she added. It's so hard to get back to the area where I grew up and raised all my 3 children. His actions have left the biggest holes in our lives. Cheryl said tearfully of Cashman's actions, recalling how he continued to shoot as Olivia's cries were heard. I cannot even think of rebuilding our lives without her. Now I have to drive to the cemetery to my close daughter. To be close to my daughter, she said. We love you endless amounts. Cashman's defense is now speaking before the court, presenting its mitigation arguments. Now, whoever's representing this guy, I want you to know, yeah, that you have no moral compass. And this is why I don't like the system over here, because morally, I couldn't represent him. Just on the basis, yeah, how do you even sleep knowing you tried to get him off? Imagine he bust case and got away with killing a child. How would you, as a court, as a barrister, live yourself? I know it's people's jobs, but I'm just saying, how do you live and sleep at night knowing that that's what you're involved in? Like, that's what your legacy is part of. Like, you was the case, you was defending this man. But anyway, it is what it is. So, on that note, listen to this. Cashman's defense is now preparing before its mitigation regarding premeditation and planning, which cuts across all 5 counts before the court. Cashman's barrister John Cooper Casey said there is no evidence in this case of any form of communication, pre-planning arrangements that could lend itself to the submission that there was substantial planning or premeditation. Justice Yip has risen briefly, she said, to finalise her remarks. The judge begins sentencing by saying the murder of Olivia must get mandatory life sentence. For the murder of Olivia, there is only one sentence that can be passed. That is a mandatory life sentence. It's just Justice Yip. The sentence would be one of life imprisonment, she said. However, for reasons I shall explain, this is not the case which requires a whole life order. Justice Yip described the incident as one and not only shocked Liverpool but the nation. She said Cashman was forced only on the murder of Joseph Nee and no one else mattered to him. And you know what? Rightfully so. Rightfully so. He deserved it. And we're not going to sit here and we're not going to justify it. Hearing the family speak and the father speak about his daughter was enough heartbreak for me, if I'm honest. Just an advice to anyone that's out there, and just let me put this out there before we start. I don't condone in violence or gang activity or murders or taking of another life. But I'm going to say this. If you're going to do it, please leave civilians out of your madness, please. That was an innocent little girl. As soon as she came to the house, there should have been no shooting. Should have just left. He would have been able to get him another day. Instead, look what happened. An innocent little girl was killed. And this happens all over the world, especially in the UK. No women and no children. That's the law, man, of the land. That's just the way it goes. But obviously, in the moment of doing all this weird stuff, you're not even thinking about that stuff. I just want everyone to know, condolences to the family, and I hope you lot are strong and get through this, because this must be a very hard ordeal. I pray for your family, and that you lot can make it through, and that everything goes right for you. I haven't really got much to say, man. You know what I'm saying? He deserves whatever he gets. He doesn't deserve no getting up and letting up on, man. What I did find interesting is that I read in an article there's a 250,000 bounty on his head from the Liverpool gangsters. That's $250,000 they've put on his head. So he's definitely going to be on a non-swing or in segregation. He's not going to get touched, trust me. He didn't even come to court for his sentencing today because he knew what he done was so bad. He was crying about the whole thing and saying, I didn't mean to murder her. You could tell that he was regretful of what he done. And he kind of deserves it. This is the life of the roads, bro. It has no morals, no nothing. Bullets don't have names. Sometimes you could go to shoot someone and kill another innocent person. And this reminds me of a case that I've already covered already, when the boy went to the house and he shot at the doorstep. Didn't hit no one, but that's to show you the insaneness of people's minds, that they're not actually thinking about what the consequences of their actual actions. So yeah, man, condolences to the family of Olivia Pratt, Corbell, and I hope the family can get through this, and we're out.